Hi guys, this is going to be the tutorial that's going to show you how to make this Lacy Ripple number 4. And to do this stitch, you can use any ply yarn and whatever hook size that yarn recommends. I'm using worsted weight yarn, which is 4 ply for the US, 10 ply for Australia, and I'm using a 5mm hook or a size H hook for the US. The multiples of this stitch is 16 plus 3, and what that means is that you're going to be doing in sets of 16, chaining 16, 16, 16, 16 until you reach your desired width. Once you have, you'll chain 3 more and you'll be ready to begin row 1. And just to help you with sizings, each 16 stitches will give you from one bottom peak to the next bottom peak. So I did 2 sets of 16. So from the very bottom peak up here, and then my other set of 16 is here. So it looks like you're only going to lose a small amount. Let's see, if I do it like this, from peak to peak, that's 2 sets of 16. And when I pull it out, it's still about the same. It's like you're not losing so much, maybe slightly. So it shouldn't take so much away from the size that's here, not too much. Maybe a ½ inch you may lose. So just keep in mind that maybe you lose about a ½ inch every 2 peaks. Okay, I have my multiples of 16 and I have it the width that I want, so I'm going to go ahead and chain 3 more. 1, 2, 3, and now I'm ready to begin row 1. For row 1, we want to start in the 4th chain from the hook, and we're going to be doing a double crochet decrease. So count 1, 2, 3, 4, find the 4th chain over, yarn over, insert your hook in the 4th chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, only pull through 2. Then you'll do that one more time. You'll yarn over, go into the next chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, only pull through 2. Then you want to pull through all 3 loops, and that finishes your double crochet decrease. Then you'll chain 1, you'll skip 1, and then you'll put a double crochet in the next chain. Chain 1, skip 1, and then double crochet in the next one. There will always be 2 stitches in between your peak and your bottom and your peak. So both peaks, basically your lower and upper peak. There'll be 2 regular stitches in between. So once you've gotten that, you'll chain 1. Then we're going to start doing our increase. So skip 1 stitch, 1 chain, and in the very next chain you're going to work 5 double crochets, all in that same chain space. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then you'll chain 1, and then you'll skip 1, and you'll do a double crochet because we just did our peak. So now we're going to be working on our 2 stitches that are in between the peaks. So skip 1, double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next, and then chain 1. You're always going to chain 1 after every stitch, every section of the stitch. So again, we just did our upper peak. See, this is our lower peak, this is our upper peak. We've done our 2 stitches in between each peaks. So now we're ready for the next peak, which will be, if this is upper, this will be a lower peak. So we're going to do like we did before. We're going to be doing double crochet decreases. So you're going to skip 1 stitch and then pull up a loop and only pull through 2. Again, yarn over. You're not going to skip any stitches. You're going to do work in the next 4 chains. So there'll be a total of 5 chains used. So you'll yarn over, go into the next chain, pull up a loop, only pull through 2. Yarn over, go into the next chain, pull up a loop, only pull through 2. See, we've gotten 3, so we need to do 2 more. Yarn over, go into the next chain, only pull through 2. Then we'll do it one more time. We have 5 stitches all together now. We have 6 loops on our hook. You'll yarn over, pull through all 6 loops, and then you want to chain 1. Then now that we've done a peak, we need to start doing our 2 in between stitches. So you're going to skip 1 and go into the next chain, double crochet, chain 1. Skip the next chain, go into the next chain, and you will double crochet, chain 1. And this will bring us back up to our peak area again. You're going to skip 1 chain and do 5 double crochets worked in the next stitch. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you will chain 1. And then you're going to skip 1, which is this one for me, and then double crochet in the next. We're doing our 2 stitches in between now. So double crochet, chain 1, skip a chain, then double crochet, chain 1. So this is how it's looking so far. Remember, we began on a decrease, so this is how we're going to end as well. Okay, at the end you should have 4 stitches. You're going to skip 1, and then we'll be doing a double crochet decrease using the last 3. So skip 1 chain and then start your double crochet and do not finish it. Yarn over, go into the next chain, only pull through 2, yarn over, go into the final chain and only pull through 2. Then you yarn over and pull through all 4 loops, and that will end row 1. Okay, for row 2 you're going to chain 1 and turn. In this row you're going to be doing only single crochets, and you're going to be putting a single crochet in each stitch and each chain 1 space. So the very first one we have here is our decrease. So we're going to go into the top of the decrease and single crochet. Then we're going to find our chain 1 space here, single crochet. Then into the double crochet, then to the chain space, double crochet, chain space, and then remember we have 5 double crochets, so put a single crochet in each one of those. That's 2, 3, 4, and 5. So then we have another chain space, double crochet, chain space, double crochet, and chain space. There'll be a chain space, oh, let me mess that one up. Okay, there'll be a chain space before the 5 decrease, your double crochet decrease where you have 5 here. So there'll be a chain space before it. Then you can go, I wasn't doing it in the actual pull through stitch here, but the more of the bigger one on the side here of the decrease. So I'm going to go ahead and keep doing them. Use that big old one, big old stitch there. And then you go into the next chain 1 space, then double crochet, chain 1 space, double crochet, chain 1 space, and then one of the next 5 double crochets, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then in the chain 1 space, the double crochet, chain 1 space, double crochet, chain 1 space, and then this is your double crochet decrease again. I'm just going to do a single crochet in the top of the chain 2, and then that will be how I'll end my row. So that's row 2. For row 3, again we're going to be chaining, we'll be chaining 3 before we skipped to the 4th. This time we're going to chain 3, and then we're going to do our decrease. So the chain 3 counts as the first stitch. So we're going to be using the next 2 stitches to do our decrease. So yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, only pull through 2. Do that one more time. Yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, only pull through 2. 3 loops on your hook. You want to yarn over and pull through all 3 of those loops and chain 1. And the repeat for this row is going to be rows 2 and 3 and then 4 and 5. So remember row 2 is a row of single crochets. So row 3 that we're doing now is going to be the next increase and decrease row. So we just did our first decrease, and then you chain 1. So now we're going to do like we did before. Between every peak, that was a lower peak, we're going to have those 2 single stitches. So you're going to skip 1, go into the next stitch, double crochet, chain 1. Then again skip the next one, and the following stitch you'll do another double crochet, chain 1. And that gives us our 2 stitches between our peaks. There's our low one, and now we're about to do our high one, which will work in the middle double crochet. So remember, we have 5 here, so you're going to skip the next 2, and then the middle one here, we're going to work 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, so this particular one is going to be worked one on top of the other. So I guess the repeat for this is going to be rows 2 and 3. So this one won't have a repeat of 3 and 4. You're only going to be repeating 2 rows, rows 2 and 3. So when you get done with your 5 double crochets, you're going to chain. Always after you get done with the set, you'll chain, skip 1, and now we're going to be doing our 2 stitches that are in between our peaks. So double crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch, double crochet, chain 1. And now that brings us over to our decrease now. To do the decrease, we're going to be using the next 5 stitches. So without skipping a stitch, you're going to go right into the very next one and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have these total of 5 single crochets we're going to be using. So yarn over, go right into the next stitch, pull up a loop, pull through 2. Yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, only pull through 2. And repeat that till you have 5 decrease stitches on your hook. You have 6 loops, pull through all 6 loops, then you'll chain 1. Then again, we're going to be doing our 2 stitches in between. Make sure that you see that this was the last stitch that we used. So you're going to skip the next one, and then the next you're going to put in your double crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch, double crochet, chain 1. Then we're going to start working with our 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochets. Actually, they're single crochets now, but you'll skip 2, and then the next you'll put your 5 double crochets. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then you'll chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, chain 1, skip the next one, double crochet, and chain 1. So that leaves us with just 3 stitches here on the end, and we're going to use all 3 of them without skipping a stitch. So yarn over, go right into the next one, pull up a loop, pull through 2. Yarn over, go into the next, pull through 2. Then yarn over, go into the final stitch here, pull through 2. 4 loops on your hook, pull through all 4 loops. And then that will end row 3. Now we're just going to do a repeat of row 2. So it's all single crochets, so you'll just be chaining 1 and turning. Then you'll go right back into that stitch that you basically just now created, and you're going to put a single crochet there. Then you're going to move over to the chain 1 space, and you'll do a single crochet there. Then in the double crochet, chain 1 space, double crochet, chain 1 space, and then in all of your double crochets, and keep going until you get to the very end. Oh, and at the end of the row, remember that you have, something you always have to be watching out for. At the end of your row, you're going to have your decrease and the chain 2, which is supposed to be part of the decrease, but it looks like it's separate. So to remedy me from putting one here and then wanting to put one in the chain 2 space as well, when I get to the very end, I always just used the top of the chain space. So when you get to the end and you've put single crochet in your chain 1 space and your double crochets, and then you put one in this double crochet, then in the chain space here in between, and then you'll just move over and finish your row by putting a single crochet in the top of your chain 3 here. I kept saying chain 2. It's actually chain 3. So you get to the top of your chain 3 and just put it there, and then that'll be the last stitch of your row. So that's it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please don't forget to like and share and comment down below. It helps me out so much. Also, if you're a first-time watcher, you haven't got a chance to subscribe, you can go to my main YouTube page, click that subscribe button, and right next to it there's a little bell button. If you click that, you'll always be notified whenever I release a new video. Also, if you're wanting to know what kind of hook I use in this video, I'm using a wooden furls hook. You can find that link down below the video. And if you're going to order yourself one, make sure that you ask for an extended hook. If not, you're only going to get half that size. Please use a link under the video, because then if you buy something, I'll get a percentage and you'll be helping out my channel. And I really appreciate it. Also, we have a group because it's not just mine, on Facebook, where we go and we share crochet projects that we just made, pictures of crochet projects that you just did, links to free patterns that you may find on the internet, or just go there and ask questions if you get stuck on a pattern. It's a nice place to be. So I hope I see you there. You can find that link down below the video too. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching.